Good day, my name is Graham Greenhorn, and for this week's Education Nugget we're going to talk about attendance in BNI. Now the first slide I would like you as an educator to bring up with your chapter is a recap of VCP. Visibility helps lead to credibility, and this in turn can lead to profitability. So that will be the first slide, and talk for a few moments on that. The next slide, meeting attendance is a key ingredient of the V of VCP. In other words, in VCP, to be visible, you have to attend. Use that concept to put across to your chapter. To increase the individual members' visibility, they need to be there. If they're not there, obviously invisible, not a good look in BNI. The next slide we have is meetings. And what we want to ask the members is, are they always present? They need to be present to learn about other members' 60 seconds. They need to be present to find out how to find referrals. They need to be present to build their credibility. They also need to be present to build relationships and trust. And that is really a key ingredient of BNI, is being there and building that trust and building those relationships. Move on to the next slide. Why else would you want to be present at BNI? There are a few reasons that we've come up with that you can present to your chapter. I would suggest that before you bring the slide up, you ask the question, why else would you be present? And see what the chapter says. You probably find a whole lot of other ideas from within your chapter. You may have some to add yourself. It gets a bit of involvement from the chapter. So use this slide to get the chapter to give you some feedback. We'll move on to the next slide. Respect. Being there shows respect for your fellow members. To not be there is disrespectful. I've spent a lot of time preparing my 10 minutes, and then you can't be bothered to come there to listen to it. That shows a total lack of respect. How are you going to know what I'm looking for? So it is respect that you come there and be at the meetings to listen to the 60 seconds that people have presented to listen to the 10 minutes. This is the lesson that we want you to get across to your chapter with this slide. It's about respect, and it's about trust, and it's about accountability. Strong attendance leads to strong chapters. Ask your chapters how the All Blacks would do if they ran onto the paddock without a full team. I know that in our chapter there's one member that's going to say would make no difference, the All Blacks would win anyway. Not really the case. The All Blacks expectation is 100% attendance. Always 15 people run out onto the paddock. You need all the players in the team to be successful, and it's the same with BNI. If the All Blacks are playing with a full team, shouldn't we also be playing with a full team in our chapters? So that is the lesson on this slide, is we play with a full team. That is what we are aiming for, always. What are the expectations for attendance? The expectation is 100%. Why wouldn't it be? Why would you aim for less than the best? However, BNI recognizes that there are things that are going to happen that mean that you won't be able to give 100% attendance. Have a puncture on the morning. Bad news. Tough luck. You can't do much about that. You're going to be late. Child is sick. That happens. Perhaps you've got man flu. Man flu is an absence. Really, it's an honest to goodness man absence. It's not a medical occasion. It is an absence. Now these absences are not targets. They are the maximum allowed. So you've got to impress on your chapter that this is the maximum. Go beyond these maximums. Then the chapter leadership team need to start looking at the individual member who has gone past the maximums and start taking action about that. Helping the member, or in worst case scenario, moving that member on to other things outside of BNI. An absence, as we've said, this just lays it out for you. It's about something that turns up unexpected, short term, can't do much about it, haven't got time to find a substitute. The next slide is getting substitutes. That's for an absence that you know is coming up You can't avoid, but you've got time to find a substitute. It is an expectation that you will find a substitute. Medical and parental leave. Medical leave is for something that is planned, something that you know is going to happen. Perhaps you need a brain transplant or something like that. And parental leave is leave that is allowed to fathers or mothers for a 3-month period. It is with permission of the director consultant, and the position of that member will be held open during that period. So that pretty much is it for this presentation. And just to close off, make your chapter strong. Attendance is the easiest thing to do, and it is key. Just be there. Thank you.